Bonk. Yeah, that was what happened to my hand. Someone out there must be using an axe. I hear the sound of wood cutting. It's getting louder too.
この辺りは不時着の時に来た場所ですね。
おう、もうそんなところまで進んだか。
相鉄様、線路上に下ろしてください。
うん。
This does have gameplay. Yeah, bro. That's not... That was the wrong thing. Hang on. Yeah, this visual novel has such good gameplay, guys. Oz Magnet did. Yeah, and when am I gonna play another one like that? Crazy gameplay. Guess what? Evanical's the only one like Oz Magna. And I can't play that on stream. I pull down Hachiroku in her operation body on the tracks. She sticks her right cheek to the top of one of them.
ここからですね。勾配変更点 837.11 です。
勾配変更点 837.11。
I write down the numbers on a memo as she says them. Hachiroku will create a map based on these numbers.
勾配線分率 1.6 施工期面高 123.09 勾配距離が 149.23 レール種別は30キロままです。
1.6 の 123.09。ここまでの勾配距離が 149.23 で、レール種別は変化なしと。
Also, what do you mean the next choice probably will be next stream? You said it was soon. Soon means 30 minutes maximum. Not fucking 3 hours. After confirming what I repeat, Hachiroku looks toward the rail with gentle eyes.
川沿いが基本となっているためか、本当になだらかな路線ですね、湯内線は。
Deep sigh of relief. There can only be one reason why. I tried explaining, but you skipped over it. Not my fault. You're the one spamming fucking RPGs. Bonk.
急勾配が苦手なのか ?8620 は。
急勾配を得意とする蒸気機関車などおりませんが、その中でもやはり不得意な部類でしょうね。
おう。
Naturally, Hachiroku stretches her arms to me. I pick up Hachiroku and sit her on my left arm. I walk. We go until the next point where the slope changes.
8620は客車を引くことを主目的に作られたので、足がいささか大きいのです。
動輪直径が大きいと乗り心地が良くなる反面、パワーは発揮しづらくなるのか。
Also, Dexter's only saying rap sounds disgusting because he hasn't heard Japanese rap.
大正解です。粘着力も小さい方が得やすいですから、急勾配はできることなら避けたいのです。
なければいいな、湯の井まで。
そうですね。 ここからお人よに戻る線路はキハ07の中でも確認させていただきましたが。
そうか。ここから湯の井まで。なんだかんだで、未だ乗ってはいなかったのだな。
はい。相鉄様、降ろしてください。勾配が変化しています。
うん。
She puts her face to the tracks again and assigns numeric values to the slope. I note down the numbers she mentions, then pick up Hachiroku before resuming our walk. Dexter, you need to shut the fuck up sometimes.
しかし、運転ボディのセンサーというのは大したものだな。器具なしで勾配を測定できるとは。
そう大したものでもないですよ。走行中は確認までで、実地を歩いて止まってみて、やっと精度が出せるほどです。
Although she said so herself, Hachiroku quickly goes silent.
今の私の計測ですと、ある程度の誤差は否めないかもしれませんが。
I just like typing insane, unexpected responses. They're just insane.
構わん。どうせこの図は僕たち専用となるのだろう。
はい、そうですね。レーナさんたちの勾配図では、私たちにはいささか大雑把に過ぎますから。
パワーがあるということか。細かな部分までは気にせず踏破できるだけの。
それもありますし、ブレーキ性能などもきっと8620より大幅に向上しているのでしょう。
ああ、そうか。ブレーキの方か。そのための勾配図。10断面図であるのだもんな。
In the end, the information drawn up on the map will only be used to supplement the train operation. We only need to know where the brake and how hard to operate the train. Yeah.
この図面の精度が確かなら、一発目から誤差数センチでブレーキ指示をお出しできるかとは思うのですが。
Her voices hints of pride and worry mixed together, which is why I pat Hachiroku on the head.
それを確かめてみるためにも、早く試運転ができるようになればいいな。
The repair of 8620 is progressing at an amazing pace, thanks to the higher than expected cooperative help and donations. Soon feels like a realistic goal too, during our progress.
そうですね。その時には私、相鉄様を厳しく叱ってしまうことになると思いますけど。
望むところだ。厳しい指導はより良い成長につながろうから。
Crack.
それは当然のことです。と申しますか。
うん。この音だな。
I've been trying to ignore it, but at this point, it's getting in the way of our conversation.
木を切るのなら、今時斧もなかろう。が
I have to do a double take, but how I see it doesn't change.
86。見ろ、ナギだ。
She's training.
ナギ様って、
Hachiroku lets out an exclamation of surprise. Must have heard. Nagi begins turning slowly to face us. There's a large old tree in front of her, and in her right hand is a wooden sword made of oak.
兄さんたち、ちょうどよかとこに来よったばい。歴史の生き証人ってやつばい。
ナギ、お前、昨日 倒すと言っていた大物はまさか。
It's a tree log. It's a tree stump.
そんなの当然。この牙。
そうか。なんだ、これは随分と立派な木だな。
そうばい。でも、あらかたはやっつけたばい。
This large tree is rotted out. The inside is dried up and hollow. That's the only way Nagi's been able to nearly chop the thing down with nothing but a wooden sword.
もう少し近くで見ていいか。
Hachidoku slips through my arms and falls to the ground. He understands my intentions. Nagi's physical abilities are amazing. I need to get close enough to stop her.
もちろん。いくらでも見てよかばい。
Nagi holds the wooden sword up high.
冗談ではない。
チェスト
Fast. It's a strike that makes sparks fly. I would compliment her if it were under different circumstances. Black. The tree shakes. At first, it wavers side to side. Soon it begins to tip toward the tracks.
倒れるぞ、来い。
The old tree begins to fall. Nagi flies up. I catch her body in midair with my arms before rolling it out of the way.
そうです様。
I didn't even need to say. You already knew what to do.
えらいことばい。
Nagi's genuinely surprised. He was completely dumbfounded at this point.
この程度の道理、少し考えればわかるだろうが。
少しも考えとらんかったばい。
I can already picture old man Minokasa smacking her on the head while crying, "You idiot." However, there's something else that takes priority before I discipline Nagi.
86、レールは。
ダメです。完全に幹で塞がれています。
Hachidoku freezes up in fear. Her gaze is turned down the rail, far away.
どうした、86。
教官、なんで通らない。なぜ。
86、どうした。キハレイナナが来ているのか。
はい、近く。なんで、教官通らない。なぜ、どうして。
目を覚ませ。
I was taught never to do this, but for the first time in my life, I have to. Slap. I throw it all away with my own hand. I slap Hachidoku's cheek to get her to return to her senses. I was gonna go sleep, but then Dexter said soon. Yeah, I got jebaited too.
教官が通らぬなら、レイナが居眠りしているのだ。ならば列車は他の方法で止めるほかない。
この牙どければい。
Nagi tries her hardest to move the tree, but it's far too big. Even if she can move it partially, the majority will still be on the tracks.
86、列車を止める方法を。
シャツを脱いで列車に大きく振って合図を。
了解した。お前はレイナを起こし続けろ。
はい、相鉄様。
I take off my shirt and start running with it in hand. Faster, farther, as hard as I can. I need to put as much distance between me and the fallen tree as possible. Calm down. My speed will drop unless I gather my breath. It'll increase the chance of an accident.
もうなのか。
As I frantically run, I feel the vibrations going from my legs to my head. Scared. I'm scared. There's too many. You didn't need 5. Derailment. A single word fills up my mind. I try to shake off the fear by waving my shirt with all my might. It's the typhon. I feel it attacking my eardrums and brain. I suddenly feel nauseous and my vision goes dark. The smell of blood pierces my nose and I progressively lose my breath. So I shout. I wave my shirt as hard as I can.
止まれ止まるんだ止まってくれ止まらねばまた事故になる
I feel wind pressure, and for a brief moment, someone's voice, sound of metal and breaking. My legs give out and I fall to the ground. The taste of gravel. Thought that this is the taste of ballast crosses my mind. I remind myself that this is no time for that. I stand up. Nothing in my field of vision anymore. Year 7 is already passed. I don't hear any sounds of impact.
止まったよな止まったんだよな頼むよ
I soon see the train's body, Kiha 7, has come to a stop.
86 86
As if she's rolling down the path, the tiny Hachiroku runs straight for me.
止めました。私たちは止めました。
A tearful voice filled with joy. How quick can these trains stop? I mean, Kiha 7's probably moving slow enough for it to stop relatively quickly. The moment I hear that, all the strength leaves my body. I managed to run a few dozen more steps to where Hachiroku's standing.
やりました、相鉄様のおかげで、私は。
Large droplets of rain fall upon my face. The hot droplets are the exhaust from the steam. Hachiroku's crying again.
泣かないでください、相鉄様。やったのですから。私たちは事故を未然に防いだのですから。
泣いてる僕もか
After being told that, I feel my own tears. How many years, no, how many decades has it been? Whether I'm scared, relieved, or happy, all those emotions must be mixed up inside, causing this confusion.
お怪我ないですか？お怪我をなさったお客様はいませんか？ごめんなさい。レイナ、こんなことを。
This is what I fucking mean. You cannot have only one fucking person. Alright? You need 2 people manning these big ass fuck off machines. Vehicles.
悪いのはうちばい。うちが考えなしだったせいばい。
なあ
I hear an uproar. Quite loud, I might add. Luckily, there are no screams of anger or pain. The smell of blood isn't in the air.
なあ86お前が言っていた通りだな
If the place doesn't smell of blood, then we can rest for a minute. I'm quite tired, but I have to confirm one thing.
私が何を申しましたか？
補選だ鉄道に補選は欠かせぬと
The fact that there's a large tree next to the tracks, and that the ballast had been almost completely pulverized. That's this odd thing about smelling blood. Oh right, you weren't here at the start. The main character almost died in a train crash. His sister and parents did die in a train crash. the train that he crashed in is the one they're trying to fix. You know how it is. We've already seen these problems before. Everyone, including ourselves, pretending not to see it.
はい、必要です。補選は常に。
そうだな。そこに鉄道が走るのならば。
The repair of 8620 will soon be complete. What we must do next is...
大丈夫だ、86。任せておけ。
Personnel, budget. I can't just continue to put everything on the volunteers and donations. Then how do I solve it? Simple. Borrow the money you need. Manpower can be exchanged for money.
8620を走らせるため。大丈夫だ。すべての障害は取り除くから。
Hachiroku extends her hand toward me. I hold it and stand up, head to where Paulette is.
処理するべきを処理し終えたら、帰りはエアクラに乗っていこう。
飛行不能区域外までまた徒歩で出るということですか？
それは徒歩でも、キハ07に乗せてもらってでも構わん。
How we get there is not the issue. I just...
ナビト、相談したいことがあるのだ。
本当にごめんなさいでした。
Right after getting to the rail shop, Rena bows apologetically. She is solemn. That's all I can say. A clumsy but sincere bow.
気に病むな。レイナの機能面のことは、レイナ自身にもどうにもできんことなのだから。
The customization increased output but decreased stability, and she naps from time to time because of that. In other words, these things are loads forced upon Reina.
けど、相鉄さんと86さんがいなかったら、レイナ。
しかし、僕らはいた。事故は最低限のもので済んだ。逆に僕らがいなければ、事故は発生しなかったかもしれん。
You have to stream an extra hour because of your procrastination, so 4-hour stream. I'm not gonna do that.
そんなこと。
あるかもしれんのだ。ナギの修行熱に火をつけたのは、他ならぬ僕だったという話だしな。
See, the problem is, right, last VOD doesn't have a thumbnail because there weren't any CGs. So now I'm conflicted because I don't know if I should add this to the previous VOD because this one's definitely gonna have a CG, or like, yeah. She's not convinced. However, Rena most likely understands that denying my claim will cause the blame to shift to Nagi.
あるいは、こうとも考えられる。この事故が起きなければ、後に大事故が起きていた。
Repeated nods. Rena nods again and again. After that, there was an emergency track inspection that revealed well over 2,000 issues. Excuse me?
このタイミングで、警告に近い形の事故を経験できた。これはむしろ、本当に幸運なことだと僕は考える。
Were people not inspecting the tracks so that... Were people just not maintaining the tracks?
相鉄様のおっしゃる通りかと思います。
Hachiroku agrees with me, albeit a little stiffly.
もし観光が盛り上がってからの事故でしたら、被害も影響も致命的なものとなったかもしれません。
I mean, you would inspect the tracks before you know, you start your plan, wouldn't you? You were doing that already. So she nods again. Rena's nodding like she never has before. Paulette has an ambiguous expression on her face, but still nods slightly. Hibiki stays motionless, continuing to frown.
今はそれが許される状況だ。悪いところは直せばいい。責任をもし感じるのなら、改善を持って果たせばいい。
はい。相鉄さん、八六さん、レイナ、わかりました。
A cheerful response. Rena seems to have decided to be more optimistic about things. But Paulette, she appears to still have something on her mind. She sluggishly takes out some documents from her bag.
これ、補選の、これで最低限の見積もりです。
Her hands and voice seem weak. I briskly respond to try not to follow her negatively.
この短期間でよく出してくれたな。
I look at the A4 sized documents containing the estimates. I'm first overwhelmed by the amount of things that require repair. The main line sidetracks, cross ties, and ballasts are a given. There are countless other things. There are countless others, though, such as obstacle removal and various kinds of maintenance work.
ん？この湯の井駅三角線心臓とは何だ？
キハ07は運転台がどちらの面にもついてますよね。
From the side, Kiha 7 looks symmetrical. The left and right sides both end in driver stands. Perhaps explaining what she likes drew some strength back into Paulette's voice.
ですから、特別な整備とかなしでも簡単に方向転換できます。
That's right. There's the automatic brake valve and independent brake valve that can simply remove those and walk it. You can simply remove those and walk it. You can just walk to whichever driver's stand and go in that direction if Paulette and Raina move. Where they go is the front.
対して86には運転台が一つだけ。つまり8620には明確な前後があるのです。
ああ、そうなるな。8620には前後があり、キハ07はいわば両面が前方だ。
Did they all just blink at the same time? Well, it's better they all blink than none of them blink. Thanks for the hydrate. Hachiroku and Paulette nod almost at the same time. They also blink almost at the same time. And the stretch.
8620でもバック走行、逆進をできなくはないのですが、いかんせん極端に見通しが悪く危ないのです。単純に。
The blinking is starting to weird me out. Them not blinking would be weirder.
なるほど。それで、お一駅にはターンテーブルがあるのだな。
I saw that gigantic round turning table on the tracks at the display event. Placing 8620 on that and spinning it around will allow it to turn anywhere at once as to the front. Most VNs don't have sprite animation, so I guess I'm used to it.
逆に、多分ターンテーブルがあったから、お人用湯の井間に8620を引いてきたんだと思います。
Yeah, I'm also used to it. But when a visual novel does have animations and the characters aren't blinking, then it's an issue. She said there was a turntable. She said there was a turntable, but the one at Hitoyo Station should still be there.
つまり、かつては湯の井にもターンテーブルがあり、しかし、それは失われてしまったのだな。
そうです。でも、ターンテーブルの設置なんて、見積もりさえも出せないような額になりますから。
理解した。ターンテーブルの代わりとなるのが、この三角線というものなのだな。
その通りです、相鉄様。
I have to say that Hachinoku begins drawing a simplified diagram.
矢印方向に進んだ列車は、まず三角の底辺を進み切ります。
On the next diagram,
そうなりましたら、そのまま左斜辺に逆進で進入。三角の頂点を通り越すまで逆進を継続します。
he drew that. Yeah, she's good. Another diagram.
行って戻って。そうか。そうすれば、右辺から元の線路には、全身で向きを変え復帰できる。
はい、こうなるわけですね。
I mean, yeah, it kind of works, but that's only if you have one train. That's not including the the carriages, right? The compartments. Looking at the last diagram, I can see that my understanding is correct.
なるほど。これならば、元の線路に2本を増設するだけで、8620を方向転換させられるようになるわけだな。
基本、そうですね。元からの線路にも、延伸は必要となっちゃいますが。
Paulette answers right away, but her voice isn't as articulate as previously.
湯の井駅の周辺広くが、お人よ鉄道の所有地ですから、ターンテーブルよりぐっと安く済みます。けど、
三角線でぐっと安くと抑えても、なお、総額ではここまでかかるものなのか。
Seeing the numbers punched out, I completely understand why Paulette sounds depressed. This amount is much bigger than what I had expected.
でもその額、全部を用立てなくちゃいけないわけでもないんです。
お人よ鉄道は赤字と聞いた気がしたが、しから補助金でも引っ張れるのか。
それは議会を通して臨時予算を編成できればです。鉄道は公共性が高いですけど、それでもやっぱり。
僕も議会にきちんと測るべきだと考える。公私混同を疑われ、痛くもない腹を探られてもな。
はい、ですよね。
A sigh of relief. I begin to realize the range and weight of the burden that Paulette is constantly subjected to.
しかし、そうなると、なぜ見積もり全額を用立てずに済むのかがわからんな。
倉庫費です。枕さんが長年払ってくれていた。
Is the text kind of hard to read, or is it just me? Yeah. Hang on. Let me do this. Which one was it? One. Make it like 20. There you go. You made it transparent. Well, you know, it's because it looks better, but it's, yeah.
ああ、そうか。枕姉はずっと市に支払っていたと言っていたが。
はい、蹄鉄が解体されて以降は、そのお金、支払い先不明で市が預かる形になってたみたいです。
が、現在の倉庫の所有者、つまりお人よ鉄道が正当な受け取り先であると認められたのだな。
そうなんです。ですから、株式会社化してからの分は、その全額を時効もなしに受け取れます。
Some energy returns to Paulette's voice. No, it's most likely her inserting some tension as a sort of resolve.
奇跡的に軽傷者1名で済み、クレームも出ませんでした。けど、先日の事故は、あってはならないものでした。
It doesn't help that I'm watching on a small TV from 2009. Well, that explains it. Everyone agrees in silence. Anyone who denies it has no right to be part of the railways.
ですので当然、保線にかかる費用のすべてを、お人よ鉄道株式会社が支払うつもりです。けど、
Storage fees accumulated until today will be directly used for the cost of the track maintenance. But even that's far from enough to pay for all the maintenance needed. Look at voice line multiple times. What do you mean?
ですので当然、保線にかかる
ざっと4億といったところか。
4億ですか。
Twitch just told me your message was not sent because it is identical to the previous one less than 30 seconds ago. So I wrote a different sentence. What? Hachidoku's expression slowly clouds up. With her helping at the rail shop and the brewery and participating in the display event, seems that she understands the current value of money.
用立てるのはかなり厳しそうな額ですね。
Nodding to Hachidoku's words, Paulette turns her eyes to me.
その額になると、もう借り入れるしかありません。ですから、お人よ鉄道の設備の一部を担保にすることを。
それはダメだ。エアクラ工場誘致賛成はたる銀行に、反対派の本丸であるお人よ鉄道の生命線を握らせるのは。
そんな、木崎先輩は借金を盾に無理難題を押し付けるような人じゃなか。
It doesn't help I'm watching in 480p. Well, that is probably the biggest reason why you can't read the text. Determined voices echo throughout the place. I feel Hibiki's innocent cries.
響が言うなら、木崎個人はそうだろう。が、組織としての銀行となれば、話は別だ。
In quick contrast to her earlier cry, Hibiki goes silent in a sullen way. She must have known this topic would come up. But she stays in her seat nevertheless, to listen to us. I have no intention of letting that sincerity go to waste.
でも、お人よ鉄道の資産以外で、そんなに大きな担保になるようなものなんて。
ある。僕のエアクラだ。
What? Damn, that's crazy.
ナビならば、すでに了解済みだ。あれは僕を信じている。担保になると言ってくれている。
Well, you know, we're close enough to the end of the common route for us to know that it'll all work out in the end.
でも、それってそんな。
Like, bro, the only reason why it's been so slow is because they can't secure enough funds, right? And it doesn't help that they need more now of the fucking rails tracks.
線路を悪いまま放っておいたのはお人よ鉄道ばい。なんでニーニがそこまですると。
Out of anger, Hibiki stands up to object. Even though it works against her, Paulette is nodding in agreement with Hibiki.
響は、ナビを嫌っていたのではなかったか？
スコーンよ。ニーニーの保護者面しよるけん。けど、それとこれとは話が別ばい。
そうか。
As her brother, I'm proud to see that she's grown up to be kind and fair.
だがな、響。 ナビは、あれは、僕がここに戻った目的を忘れてはおらんのだ。
戻った目的って、そんな、エアクラ工場誘致の反対。
Yes.
ではない。お人よという僕の第二の故郷を、その水資源と環境を汚させない。それが僕の目的だ。
By preventing the building of the aircraft factory. If Taito didn't adopt me, I wouldn't have grown up in this town. You would have died. I don't know. If I hadn't come here and met these kind people, my aimless hatred would have consumed me.
ナビはそのことを理解している。故に、僕を守るため、担保となることを了解したのだ。
どうしてそれが相鉄さんを守るってことになるんですか？
That is a very good question, Reina, and I'm not smart enough to answer that. An unexpected question from Reina. No one wanted to say it, even if they wanted to know. Paulette and Hibiki follow suit by nodding.
無論、仮に工場誘致が強行され、熊川が汚染され、お人よの町が損なわれても、僕が死ぬようなことはない。
Reina nods in agreement.
だが、ナビは、僕が一番ダメだった時期からずっと、僕のことを見続け、見守り続けているのだ。
I'm sure of it. I can swear by it even. In a way, this machine, this AI knows me better than anyone else.
あれの言う、僕の命は、単に生命にとどまらぬ。僕を僕たらしめていると、あれが判断するすべてが命だ。
それならナビは、兄さんが工場誘致反対にもしも失敗してしまったら。
Yeah, Navi would be gone forever.
僕がナビの認める僕でなくなると判断したのだろうな。
I know that's nothing but a groundless fear. I purposefully forced out a laugh.
あれがどれほど心配性で過保護かならば、響も知っているだろう。
I try to make her laugh, but Hibiki just looks meek.
知ってる。知ってます。ナビがどれだけ兄さんのことを見てきたかなら。
Hibiki goes silent. Paulette's voice interrupts the silence.
でも話を巻き戻しちゃいますけど、これは響ちゃんも言った通りに、お人よ鉄道の問題で。
同時に、僕の問題でもあるのだよ、ポーレット。故に、折衷案を僕は提案しているつもりだ。
折衷案ですか？
Our talks are out of order. I still have mentioned it. I should have mentioned it in the beginning, so that we didn't have to talk about extraneous stuff.
僕は、ナビを担保に妃から4億を借り受けよう。そしてそのままの条件で、僕からお人よ鉄道に貸し付ける。
Are you saying that Navi's worth 400 million yen?
個々の取引をそれぞれに行う。ただそれだけで、お人よ鉄道の独立性を維持できる。
Paulette doesn't agree very quickly to my proposal.
でも、
The color of worry begins to overtake her expression.
返済を滞らせた場合のことなら、僕は厳しく取り立てる。間に僕がいようとも、ポーレットの責任は変わらんぞ。
そうか、そうですよね。最悪の場合、私がお人よ鉄道を担保に新規にお金を借りれば。
Yikes.
そう。僕への返済はその資金を持って行われ、僕は銀行へ、無事の返済を果たせることとなるのだから。
Knowing that the responsibility still lies with her, Paulette feels relieved.
無論、返済を滞らせなどはしない。 すべてをうまく運ばせて、何一つさえ損なわせはせぬ。
はい、私も最初からそのつもりです。
レイナも、もっと頑張りますよ。私は常に、相鉄様と共に。
Thank you, Hachidoku. Voices of agreement, one after another. After a moment or two, I hear a silently sulking voice.
ニーニの好きにすればいいばい。お人よが栄えること、みんなの共通の希望やもん。
Classic tsundere.
ならば、この案で行かせてもらう。
We'll obtain a loan without being told what to do. If the bank will get interest income, all that's left is for us to continue to come to terms with them.
ポーレットは、銀行との付き合いは？
もちろん普通にはありますけど。ニーニが良ければ、私からキサキ先輩に連絡取るばい。
Her statements are decisive, but I can hear sulking in her voice. Her cheeks are puffed and flushed in annoyance. Even though when I ask her to, Hibiki takes out her cell phone and begins calling. Even so, when I ask her to.
これが一番話の早かことになるけん。
I drink the coffee the receptionist brought me. As the office of Hosho Kisaki, the Kumamoto Bank Ohitoyo branch is bank manager. The space is large and brightly lit from the sun. Did she set things up like this for her clients, or is the whole decor just her personal style? Triangular center table and high decorative lights. Above the signboard is the old statue of Daikoku. It feels like a hodgepodge of styles, but in a way, it's fitting for a bank.
失礼します。
It isn't the voice of the receptionist from earlier, nor is it the voice of Hosho Kisaki. I have trouble judging whether it's the voice of a man or a woman.
お約束をいただきながら、お待たせしてしまい申し訳ございません。
You got your eyes fixed this time. A thin figure in a suit and glasses. I've seen this person from somewhere. That's right. It was the day of the display show. It's the man who was with Hosho Kisaki. Still looks weird. I know it's still weird. But, you know, at least they're looking in the same direction this time.
とんでもない。こんなに早くご面会のお約束をいただけたこと、心より感謝しています。
宝生もご面会を楽しみにしていたのですが、あいにく緊急の支店長会議が入ってしまいまして。
でしたら、後日に改めた方が。
いえ、私が宝生の代理としてお話をお伺いするよう申し付けられております。
In a smooth, rehearsed motion, the man holds out his business card. Isn't she a girl? I still don't know yet. No? Okay, well.
私、宝生の秘書を務めております。浦上と申します。
I can easily figure out if it's a guy or a girl by just looking up them on VNDB. Urakami. Personality. Opposite gender voiced. So, there you go. They said he was male multiple times. Well, that could have been an assumption on Sotetsu's part, so you know.
頂戴いたします。
The voice. The voices are female, yes. Character voices. I take his card with both hands and look at it. Urakami Kazuki. Kazuki as in fragrant moon. Hold on. Retest the voices. Yeah. No,
私、宝生の秘書を務めております。
it doesn't.
浦上と申します。
浦上様はエアロクラフテック社の方でいらっしゃるのですね。
Only some VNs do that, I think. Yeah. Aircraft Tech Company, Far East Branch on-site Senior Manager. That's what it says in the corner of his business card.
ええ。エアロクラフテック社から出向し、宝生妃の秘書として勤務させていただいております。
I see. In other words, he's on the side of the aircraft company to promote building of the factory. No shit. What you expected him to be neutral? And if he's someone that's not from Ohitoyo, he'll be more difficult to negotiate with than Kisaki.
申し遅れました。私は右田一酒店の右田宗哲と申すものです。
I only have my adopted father's wholesaler business card. I held out the card and wait for him to take it while I search for the right words.
本日は酒問屋の従業員としてではなく、お人よ鉄道の保線部長としてご相談に伺いました。
お人よ鉄道に保線部ができたのですか。それは先日のアクシデントの影響で？
Kind of. Word gets out fast. That should move things along. That should move things along, actually.
はい。現在のお人よ鉄道の保線体制は率直に言って十分なものではないと判断してのことです。
そうですか。
より市民の皆様のお役に立つため、保線強化、安全性の確保は必須と考えております。
エアクラの作動不能地帯を抱えるお人よでは、鉄道の公共性は高いものと当行も評価しています。
Murakami speaks without emotion. As long as I don't know his intentions, there's no point in trying to play tricks.
ありがとうございます。つきましては、保線費用の一部をご融資いただきたく、ご相談に上がった次第です。
大まかなことは宝生から私も伺っております。事前にお預かりさせていただいていた資料も拝見しました。
Murakami takes his glasses off and fastidiously wipes them before putting them back on.
相鉄様の飛行型エアクラですが、担保価値は2億が妥当と判断します。
I told you it'd be less than 400 mil.
ナビエアクラナビの換装が必要となるからですか？
その通りです。飛行型ナビの換装は最新技術ですので、相当なコストがかかります。
A short response, because I know the reason. It's true that the majority of the cost of flight aircraft lies in the aircraft navigation system.
機体そのものの価値とてかなりあるかとは思うのですが。
確かに。が、年式が経ちすぎています。加え、総飛行距離も相当なものです。
ああ。
That's right. Navi flies on its own almost non-stop. That's not exactly the most common way of using aircraft.
そういうことでしたら納得できます。では、仮に2億をお貸しいただくとして、金利の方は？
すみません、右田さん。お待たせしてしまいました。
いえ、お忙しいところ、お時間をありがとうございます。
It's Hosho Kisaki. It seems like her meeting is over. Or perhaps she was just looking for the right time to enter the conversation.
浦上とどこまでのお話をされましたか？
はい、融資上限が2億と。
何をかしこまっている。二人とも知らない仲でもあるまいし。
I like how they changed the camera angle even before he fucking comes into frame. The old man. It's an old man. Some old man just walked right into the branch manager's office.
これは頭取。
仕事の邪魔はやめてくれないかな。
頭取？
I don't know why you're confused. I think you should assume that this is Kisaki's dad. I'm surprised. So this old man is Hosho Mototada. Such a weird fucking name. Now that you mention it, his dress is crisp and his attitude calm.
おいおいお人よし店長。頭取に対しやめてくれないかなはないだろ。
Why have I heard his voice before?
知らない中でないならかしこまるな。と、そうおっしゃったのは頭取ご自身ですが。
そうか。これは一本取られたな。
He smacks his forehead with a laugh. You can't really ascertain a person's character by their position, but this president is way too candid. Yeah, it's sus. I've seen characters like him before.
では、ザック・バランに行こう。相鉄くんもそのようにしてくれ。
はい。しかし、
ザック・バランに知らん言葉ではないだろ。
I'm not sure what to do. Speaking in a way that's anything but polite to someone above me feels totally foreign.
そうは言うけど、知らないも同然の仲だと思うんだ。僕と木崎さんは。
It's the feeling of when I spoke to father when I was a kid. I try to invoke that feeling in shooting straight.
なんだ。相鉄くんは覚えてないのか？君が引き取られてすぐの頃、何度か合わせているのだが。
Listen, I think the only thing Sotetsu was preoccupied about when he was younger is how much he hates 8620, okay?
引き取られてすぐの頃なら。
Right. I don't remember having ever met him before. I guess I'm not surprised. Back then I was too consumed with hate and envy to notice anything. I literally just said, of course, I never talked about those feelings. So all I did was hide in my shell.
覚えていなくて当然か。まあそうだろう。私とて思ったものだ。この子は無理だと正直な。
He knows my circumstances, and we've met before. He hints at it, but behind that cheerful voice, I feel as if he's exposing my circumstances.
なら、頭取、元忠さんはタイトさんの。
タイトさんともお会いはしていた。私と健三とは仲のいい学友だったからな。
ああ、父の。
I feel a bond unexpectedly.
ということは、木崎さんと響も昔からの仲なのか。
木崎でいいよ。僕も相鉄と呼ばせてもらうから。
She may speak bluntly, but there's also a note of rejection in her voice.
響と僕は学園からさ。幼少期には会っていないね。
As she says that, Kisaki frowns a little.
だけどねえ相鉄、僕もようやく思い出した。僕と君とは幼い頃に3度会ってる。
Why did you keep count? She doesn't sound like she's happy that we've met before, because you forgot that you've met before.
3度とも君は一言も口を聞かなかった。忘れないものだね。そういうことをされると逆に。
それは昔のこととはいえ失礼をした。
いや、いいんだ。あまりに気になって調べて知ったから。君が 大きな鉄道事故の被害者だということを。
うん。
Although she is not happy for our reunification, Kisaki's words feel sentimental because she doesn't seem to hold back. I don't need to either.
それで僕は思ったんだよ。あまりに傷が深いと人は生きたまま死ぬんだってね。
Look, Kisaki, I don't think you should be. I don't think you should get. I don't think you should get philosophical. Okay.
そうだな。
Especially since you're in a fucking bank. I nod, and I'm genuinely surprised. Even back then, when Hosho Kisaki was much younger, she understood how people worked.
そう感じて僕は君への興味を完全に失った。だから今ひどく驚いているんだ。
It's almost like it's because she was raised to know how people work. Her unwavering eyes fix on me. I get the impression that she came closer without physically being near me.
人を見る目には自信がある。けれどね、相鉄。赤い阿蘇神社で僕は君を君とは気づけなかった。
A soft smile comes naturally on Kisaki's face.
響きから飽きるほど君の話を聞いてたからかな。響の兄さんがまさかあの不愛想な少年だとも。
Well, you know, when it comes to her route, they're not going to be, he's not going to be her brother anymore. That mean Hibiki was complimenting me? Makes me happy, which can be heard in my voice.
いくらかは僕も成長した。いや、違う。成長をさせてもらえたおかげだろうな。
させてもらえた？
うん。
I tell them everything without holding back. The various people I met in Ohitoyo helped me grow up. That's why I want Ohitoyo, its water and people, to stay the way it is.
僕も人世の生まれだ。君の主張もわかる。わかるからこそ、僕も融資の許諾を出した。
Damn, right in front of Daddy Hosho.
うん。ありがとう。
Wait, the 400 million one or the 200 million one?
だけどね、相鉄。2億円以上は無理なんだ。エアクラ関連の査定なら、浦上に任せて間違いないから。
Okay, so it's the 200 million one. Urakami bows as if to thank her for the compliment. A small doubt rises when I see his unchanging attitude.
浦上さんはエアクラ工場を人湯に建てるためにここに出向してきているのですよね。
違いますよ、右田さん。私の仕事は敵地にエアクラ工場を建てることです。
Hang on, what? I thought that's what he said. You were dispatched here to build the aircraft factory in Ohitoyo. My job is to build aircraft factories in suitable locations. Okay. Technically the same, but okay, I get it. Urakami must be trying to somewhat follow the president's order of being a straight shooter. His thin fingers move his necktie sideways, and he tightens it slightly.
長期間安定的に効率よく稼働できる工場というのはそう簡単に立つものではありませんので、その調査を。
敵地かどうか判断するのがお仕事だということですか？
その通りです。不敵と判断できるなら、そこから撤退することもまた私の仕事の成果となります。
なるほど。
お人よは非常に有力な候補地として現地コーディネーターからの推薦を受けていますが、
Urakami peers at me through his glasses.
果たして実際に敵地であるのか見極めるため、右田さんたちの動きはむしろありがたいですね、正直。
They didn't approve the loan. They could easily push the anti-factory movement into a corner. The answer Urakami gives me completely erases my doubts.
非常に納得がいきました。率直なお答え、ありがとうございます。
いえいえ。
すっかり打ち解けた空気になったな。
Look, Dexter, just we don't just if we don't mention it, the the people only watching on the main channel won't know. After being told that, I realized something. My sense of caution I had when I first got here is gone. This is the result of negotiation skills, and that means I've fallen prey to it.
そこで提案なのだがね。
Hosho Mototada goes through the stack of materials I had handed over. Mototada grins at me, as if he were a lion with its open mouth.
担保を一つ追加してみないかね。そうすれば満額4億。最低金利で貸してあげよう。
Okay, this is the catch, right? Because we got the 200 million from Navi, and now because we only got half, he's gonna offer us a collateral, more collateral. So what's the offer?
ニーニー自身が担保って
Excuse me? I don't think that's legal. She interrogated it out of me. I should have just called her on the cell from my room.
すみません、父さん。またかけ直します。
I hang up the phone, and then I hear some floppy footsteps heading in my direction.
なんねひーちゃん、とんでもない声。
ニーニーが借金の担保でどうこうって
How does that work, other than slavery?
ん
Okay, Sotetsu, how are you worth 200 million? Margaret is here too, and she sits down. This is going to turn into a family meeting. There's no way I can escape this.
ニーニー自身が担保って一体どぎゃ
そう大げさに心配するな。人身売買というような話ではない。
Okay, well, human trafficking's worse. I wasn't thinking that far. That bad.
当たり前ばい
I try to explain as much as I can to the raging Hibiki. But then Makoto asks me a question with a big smile. What's the difference? Well, you know, if he's loaned out... okay, look, there isn't much. Okay, both are pretty shit. But in the context of what I meant by slavery, I meant that Sotetsu is essentially selling himself to them, right? The Osho family, right? But trafficking, right? It would imply that he's being sold off to someone else, right? Something like that.
ほんならそうちゃん。そうちゃんいう担保は、どぎゃんして監禁されると
The only difference in this context is who he's working as a slave for.
うん。
Hearing exchange for money makes me realize something. In simple terms, being collateral means that I have disposable value.
借金返済を滞らせた場合、熊本銀行に入行し、元忠さんの下で経営を勉強するようにと。
Yeah, I mean, this is what I expected, right? Essentially, the collateral is that if he doesn't meet the loan payments, he's essentially getting adopted by Mototada, right? Something like that.
無期限で
期限は特に言われなかった。給料は規定の通りに払うということは伺った。
Well, yeah, because if he didn't pay you a salary, it'd amount to slavery, which is illegal.
ふーん
And I don't think Mototada is a loan shark. Makoto hands body and expression remained completely motionless. However, she's still smiling in a way that makes it hard for me to read her emotion. Kato is still trying to wake up. Happy National Meditation Day. Thanks, Meow. Look, you weren't here when I talked about how bullshit celebration days are, so I appreciate you telling me what day it is. But like, still.
で、そうちゃんはその申し出にどう答えたと？
I'm still gonna annoy you at random celebration days. Yeah, I expected that.
うん。その話はお受けできんと断った。
I wouldn't want it any other way.
あ、なんね、断ったね。
Hibiki lets out a long sigh of relief. Makoto, on the other hand, remained motionless. Tomorrow is Barefoot Day. Well, that's great for all the foot fetishists.
どぎゃんなわけで、そん話をお受けできんと？
Oh, he turned it down.
うん。いや、これはもっと早くに伝えておくべきことだったんだが。
I was looking for the right time to say it, but completely lost my chance.
帝大を休学し、酒問屋の方も休ませてもらう条件として、僕は父さんといくつか約束をしているんだ。
約束？
一つは期限。2年以内に結果を出すこと。その期限内に工場誘致を撤回できれば、見習い期間を終了し、独立を許すとも約束してもらった。
それはよか約束ばい。
I mean, to be fair, considering how much they need to fix, it'll take at least a year for them to fix it. Well, that got sorted out, but quite a few people would be offended.
うん。もったいないほどありがたいお話だ。
で？
Look, the only difference between slavery and work is that you get paid. Never mind. She maintains her smile, continuing on with the questions.
酒店さんは、そうちゃんにその他に何を約束させたと？
Brewer. She said brewer instead of dad. Makoto's mad. Just knowing that sends chills up my spine. Didn't it down your spine? Okay.
もう一つだけ。期限内に結果を出せなかった場合の条件を。
I mean, what's the saying again? You're a slave to your job or something?
結果を出せんかったらニーニー、どうなると？
結果を出せた場合の反対。僕の見習い期間は継続。加えて、父さんの選んだ相手との結婚をする。
Slave to the banks. I mean, technically that's not wrong. You're a slave to money if you don't make enough money to live. You know.
結婚って、それって誰と？父さんの選んだ相手って誰ね？
I wonder if it's Kasaki.
わからん。失敗するつもりは全くないので、確認しようとも思わなかった。
I hope it's Kasaki.
ああ。
Excuse me? Relief, disgust, or disappointment? Hibiki makes those ambiguous sounds as she turns to Makoto pleadingly.
そういやけん。そうちゃんは断ったんね。言うたらすでに、そうちゃんの身は抵当に入れられてしまっとりよるけん。
その通りだ。
そしたら、なんて？元忠さんは。
カンラカンラと大笑いして、ならば私が健三と話をつけておこうと。
どぎゃ話ばつけるつもりね。
She exclaims loudly again. Hibiki sure is showing off the spectrum of emotions today.
その説明はなかったな。ただ、 話をつけるから安心して担保になれ。とそればかりで。
なんね、父さんもその元忠いうおっさんもニーニーのことまるっきり物扱いしよって。
Property, I suppose so. I didn't even realize that. It didn't particularly anger me. But seeing Hibiki this angry, and for my sake, at that, it makes me worried, seeing as my reaction here is clearly not normal.
キサキちゃんはなんか言いよったと？
Hibiki freezes up. I don't know why she'd bring up Kisaki now of all times, but I respond to her truthfully, just the same.
いや、特には何も。何も言ってなかったかと思う。
A weird sound again, followed by a long sigh and a popping sound that overlaps her cries.
ほんならね、そうちゃん。
It's Makoto. It was the sound of her tapping her lap while kneeling, excuse me.
もう一つ。そうちゃんにお姉ちゃんから選択肢をあげようね。
She takes out a brush, ink, and writing paper. She prepares everything in a fluid motion and then begins writing something.
そうちゃんがここにサインをしたら2億円。うちからそうちゃんに無利子無担保で貸してあげますけ。
Excuse me? This offer is much too generous. I mean, I get they're in the higher tax bracket, but like, he just has 2 million in her back pocket. I choke on my own voice when I remember the incidents revolving around the inheritance of Taito's estate.
それは、助かる。助かるか。
が、なんね。
いや。
I can't say it. I don't want to trouble you. I've been enough of a headache for her as it is, being in a desperate situation, though I don't have the luxury of keeping my pride intact.
いや、なんね。
I can't even ask her why. The act of asking is incredibly insulting to Makoto. But my doubts still remain. I'm only her adoptive brother. 200 million isn't exactly chump change, even for Makoto. That's why I'm hesitant. Freezing up, I'm unable to come to a sound judgment.
ね、そうちゃん。
A calm voice caresses me while I stay frozen. Her smile is gone, but it's been replaced by a gentle expression. I know that still looks like a smile to me.
お姉ちゃんが困っとったら、そうちゃん、お姉ちゃんのこと助けてくれると？
What do you mean by that? An unexpected question. There's not a speck of doubt in my answer. Answer though. Makoto's question is that simple in nature.
無論だ。全力を尽くし助けるとも。
お姉ちゃんも同じ。それだけのこと。私も絶対助けるけん。
Thanks for adding something.
ああ。
The tension in my shoulders releases. I finally understand what a fool I've been. I was the one who was so fixated on the fact that we weren't blood related.
枕ね。響。
Naturally, I went to go pick up the brush that wasn't offered to me. I'll definitely repay everything. I was about to say that, but managed to suppress it. Don't get cocky. Be honest with yourself. What's most important now isn't my worry over the money. When I come to that realization, all the excess emotions finally melt away, and a single emotion remains. Feeling that wells up so big that it searches for a way out, ultimately finding it through my mouth.
ありがとう。
In response to the choice that Makoto gave me, and then signed the paper. She inked herself. Mikita Sotetsu. A lot rides on top of this name. Now you owe two sources of how do you say? Look, all I'm gonna say is, Dexter. That when you said soon last stream, I was expecting it to happen like a few minutes ago. I can hear Reina and Fukami, but they are out of sight. They're in the small space called the pit, located in the ditches between the storage tracks. They're oiling up each section of 8620 from underneath.
油を拭いたウエスは火入れの時に使います。間違って捨てないでくださいね。了解です、86さん。
Hachiroku runs quickly to the source of the voice to check on their work. Her stride is light and agile. I don't blame her. We've come so far. The drive wheel, axle, body, boiler, from serious ones to minor ones. There are a lot of parts to repair, but at least we've gathered all of them, which is about the only thing we've done with them thus far. Oh, they haven't installed them yet.
お人よの職人たちの誇りば感じる仕事ですな。新旧部品すり合わせよし、ぴったりはまっておりますばい。
ありがとうございます、美濃笠様。引き続き各所の点検をお願いいたします。
よかですよ。
Old man Minokasa, various volunteer craftsmen, and a bunch of other citizens offered their help. I've gotten such an outpouring of support and help from all over, from Ihitoyo to Unoi line to the Kuma River area.
そうちゃん、お待たせ。頼まれた分と余分の蒸留水、入り口前にタンク横付けで持ってきとったよ。
ありがとう、枕ね。おかげで、これで注水に入れる。86。
では、注水の監督はポーレットさんにお願いします。マニュアル通りで大丈夫でしょうか。
Paulette gasps and looks up in response to Hachiroku's voice. In her hands is the handmade maintenance manual Hachiroku made. She's been reading it up until now. Right up until now.
マニュアルしっかりしてるから大丈夫とは思うけど、完全に未経験のことだから少しだけは不安かも。
ああ、でしたら大宮さんについてもらえばいいですよ。大宮さん、大宮さん、よろしいですか？
あ、助かります。どうぞよろしくお願いします。
Paulette's Maitetsu friends and Reverend Akai's connections were the ones responsible for gathering the former Imperial Railways technicians and workers. The help and emotions of everyone of these people are housed inside the newly reborn 8620. A lot of hands helped bring us to this trial run. From the stone storage to the platform of Ohitoyo Station is the virgin voyage of the reborn 8620, not lasting even 1 kilometer. But unless we take this one tiny step, we can't go anywhere.
力むな、気負うな。一つ一つをただ正確にやればいいのだ。
I spin to face the firebox after leaning over the ledge of the window. Nagi takes the one scoop and pretends to shovel in the coal.
兄さん、いよいよ石炭場投げ込むと？
Come on, at least show her in the full uniform.
まだだ。重油と水張りとが終わるのを待たねば。
もう飽きたわい。早く石炭投げ込みたいわい。
The firebox's floor, the grate being empty, seems to have made Nagi restless. I also want to see the coal burn bright red, but now's not the time.
ダメだ。我慢だ。いきなり石炭は燃えん。すべては順番だ。
I mean, you know, if you want to try burning some coal, you can. Just throw some coal into the furnace, right? Just turn it on, right? It'll burn the coal, and then smoke will start piling up in the storage shed, and everyone will die of asphyxiation. You know, carbon monoxide poisoning. What's wrong with what's the harm in that? You know, it's not like they're gonna fucking. It's not like they're in an enclosed space or anything, so all the smoke will get into everyone else's lungs.
よかった。間に合ったわ。どうやら、なんとか間に合いましたね。
Why are there question marks?
響か。
No shit, it was Hibiki. From the entrance of the stone storage, Hibiki comes closer, sun at her back. She was doing something in her room after saying she'd help in whatever way she could.
8686、ちょっといい？
もちろんです、響。
Hachiroku walks toward Hibiki. The countless gazes in the stone storage turn to the two.
見学会のチラシの時に資料をいろいろ調べて、それで記念の時にはあった方がいいかと思ったの。
She's holding something rather large and round. Hibiki then hands it over to Hachiroku.
決まりとかあるなら違っちゃってるかもしれないし、プラ板に油絵の具だから強度も正直わかんないけど。
これは。
Broad smile. Hachiroku grins from ear to ear.
相鉄様、相鉄様、取り付けをお願いします。
うん。
What am I supposed to install? I come down from the cab and realize what it is, and also why Hachiroku is smiling so brightly.
僕一人では無理かもしれんな。ミノカサさん、お手伝いをいただけますか？
任せるわい。
いや、ナギも確かにミノカサさんだが。
わしの方ですな。よかですよ。
Look, Nagi just wants to do something other than practicing shoveling coal. With the eager Nagi joining in, Old Man Minokasa and I head to the front of 8620.
どうだ、86。
少しだけ一時の方向に傾いて。あ、そうです。そうそう。それできっちりまっすぐです。
うん。
かわいいです。
I hear cheers coming from behind me. Paulette and Raina watching me from a ways back. I hadn't noticed until just now.
うん。よく似合っている。これは、ヘッドマークでいいのか？
そうです、相鉄くん。列車先頭のトレインマークはヘッドマークです。
運転試験86か。単純であるが可愛らしい。この漫画は運転ボディの86だな。
It's what they call a miniature character. A chibi, if you will. But I remember Hibiki saying she's not good with them before.
専門用語はよくわからんが、苦手とはとても思えんな。非常に可愛らしくて良いと思う。
相鉄様。
Why are you both blushing? Hibiki and now even Hachiroku is being bashful, as given away by her flushed cheeks.
あ、報告が遅れましたけど、相鉄くん。
Paulette's serious voice makes me straighten my posture. Oh, that's right. If Hachiroku is here, that means the chibi is of Hachiroku. If Paulette is here, that means... I mean, yeah, I get that, but still.
8620ボイラーへの注水、先ほど規定通りに終わりました。
ほう、そうでした、そうでした。
It must have been fixated on the nameplate. Even the daydreaming Reina fixes her posture.
全注油箇所、注油してダブルチェックも完了です。ご苦労様です。
Tearful cries erupt. They stand up straight and salute one another. Atadoku collects the oil-soaked rag from Reina and then salutes me in a showy way. Yep.
相鉄様。
I open up the crew bag and take out Hachiroku's operation body from inside. They exchange tablets. With a clicking noise, Hachiroku's operation body opens to size.
おっと。
I catch Hachiroku's collapsing maintenance body and put her in a special seat in the engine shed.
ありがとうございます、相鉄様。
That must look so wrong to take a body out of a bag. Well, if you didn't know that there were a rail lord, yeah.
まだまだ、礼には早すぎる。
そうですね。
早すぎんばい、遅すぎばい。早く石炭投げ込みたいばい。
もうすぐですよ、なぎ様。もうすぐ、これからが始まるのです。
Hachiroku seems to be trying to tell herself that instead of Nagi.
ですよね、相鉄様。
She smiles directly at me, but deep in her eyes, I see the color of worry. The color of worry is red. Or perhaps I'm only projecting my own insecurities onto Hachiroku. That sounds about right.
無論だ。こちらも言われた準備はすでに万端整えてある。
だったらやるばい、さっさとやる
ばい。Nagi exclaims immediately. I follow her into the cab with Hachiroku in my arms. Nagi's absolutely right. Whatever the case, we have to do this.
86、ウェスを。
はい、相鉄様。
The rag feels heavy. I take the oily rags and line them up inside the empty grate.
畑さん、ボイラ準備どうでしょうか？
This isn't the boiler that's attached to 8620. It's an emergency mid-sized portable one that I asked Hata from the boiler shop to bring.
よかと？よかよか。そうてつくん。畑さんはよかって言うとりますばい。
ありがとうございます。
Now the preparations are complete. I look to Hachiroku and she nods. She takes out an ordinary match from her pocket.
火入れを、どうか、86に。
Divine serenity. Those are the words that come into my head. Minekosa always says bye at the end of his sentence. Yeah, so does. I mean, that's where Nagi got her dialect from. But it's not B-I, it's B-A-I. It's an ordinary match. That's all it is. Rub. My fingers begin to shake, so I try to focus my strength to light it. Throw it in. Throw it on the laid out rags inside the grate, and it will set it on fire.
ナギ、薪を。
High quality dried firewood. It almost seems like a waste to use this generous donation from the forestry co-op as mere kindling.
さすがによく燃える。
The firewood instantly ignites. The grate quickly turns into a floor of fire. Now is the right timing. I hold my hand in silence, and Nagi holds me the one scoop, also in silence.
今はまだ、吸気も排気もありませんので。
わかっている。 くり、少しずつ、まんべんなくだ。
I scatter the coal onto the floor in a flowing motion without turning or forcefully hurling the shovel. But the coal refuses to burn. The burning firewood and rags seem to be getting smothered by the coal. Well, that's why you spread it out.
着火準備よし。
着火準備よし。
But this is how it's supposed to be. Everything up to this point is just preparation. From here on out is the real thing.
ブロワ。
ブロワー
Poof. The roaring steam whistle pitches as the blower valve opens. The steam from the portable boiler Hata brought goes through the boiler tubes and to the chimney. With the exhaust being suddenly emitted, air is sucked into the firebox.
石炭燃え始めたわい。
I mean, that's expected. Going from black to red, the coal explodes into fire and heat strong enough to burn your skin without question.
着火よし。
着火よし。
着火よしばい。
You've ruined it, Nagi. It's going as planned. Soon it'll function solely on the steam it's generating. An appropriate amount of air from the blower and coal will continue to cycle the cycle of intake, combustion, and exhaust.
ようやっとこれで86走れるとよね。
Her energetic voice drips with motivation. I don't want to be a downer, but there isn't a way I can move it myself.
いや、まだだ。まだまだだ。
まだまだばい。なんでばい。
I'm positive Nagi was in the at the meeting about the trial run, but it's meaningless to bring that up now.
走れるようになるまでは、軽くあと4、5時間はかかる。
4、5時間どぎゃんしてそぎゃんかかると。
Because it needs to heat up.
説明をじっくりやってもいいが、別にしばらく外していても構わんぞ。
I suggest Uno. Steam from 8620's boiler still has to reach all parts of the locomotive. All I need to do is shovel the right amount of coal, so I can do it entirely alone.
冗談よすばい。ここまで来て途中で抜けるほど間抜けじゃなかばい。
He walks over and sits down hard on the engineer assistant's seat.
説明聞くばい。4時間でも5時間でもどーんと来いばい。
Listen, all I'm gonna say is Nagi's gonna fall asleep halfway through.
蒸気が行き渡ってきたようだな。
The glacial movement of the pressure meter has finally reached regular pressure.
もう間もなくか。
ええ。随分とお待たせしてしまいましたが。
Motions me with her eyes, so I pick up Hachidoku in order for her to look outside the cab's window.
なぎ様のお言葉をお借りするなら、間抜けは一人もいらっしゃらなかったようですね。
だな。
The people who gathered at the engine shed are all still hanging around. A soft, warm fragrance emanates. The smell of rice balls and miso soup. Makoto has her cooking. Was here cooking for everyone.
皆さんそれだけ8620に期待してくださっているのですね。
それもあろうし、責任感もあるのだろうな。
Hachidoku nods deeply. Even though it's been completely completely repaired, we don't know what'll happen until we run it. Isn't there a saying that love makes you stupid? What? Yes. But that shouldn't apply to you.
何か異常が起きてしまったその時のため。
そうだ。備えてくれているのだ。走行試験を僕らが全うできるよ
本当にありがたい話です。過分なほどにここまでをしていただけて。
The coal provided is of a high quality, even among the well-respected Kyushu coal. Who said I couldn't love fictional anime lollies? I don't know, considering that... considering how many visual novels you play, you cannot feel the same way about every lolly. The distilled water, firewood, and steam, they're all the same. We didn't need such high-quality materials for this trial.
この子の負荷をほんの少しでも減らせるようにと、これほど多くを皆様に分けていただけて。
ありがたいな。
本当に。
ならば86。次は僕らが分ける側になろう。
My thoughts come out through my mouth, and those words will invariably cause a chain reaction of emotions.
今復活する8620の火を、熱を、蒸気を分けてやるのだ。眠っているお前の仲間の目覚めのために。
Also starving went to bed. Yes, I saw.
はい。相鉄様。
A strong nod of agreement. Hachiroku turns and gazes at me straight on.
皆様から分けていただいたすべてを、必ずや、私の妹たちへも。
Dexter, you know what I mean.
うん。なんだ、コン。
土下したと？どうしたんですか？
Hibiki and Reina run outside to the source of the barking.
コーン、土下したと？何をそんなに騒いで。
Pon is not barking, he is yipping. He is yapping.
すごいです。すごい。鈴なりのスズメさんです。
スズメ？
機関庫も生き返ったということです。
うん。
See, this is when it's weird, right? Because throughout the visual novel, you have characters blinking. Now, Hibiki is frozen fucking solid. You know, like a regular visual novel that doesn't have animation. It's weird now. She smiles brightly, her frantic attitude nearly contagious. Her voice full of energy fails at hiding her emotions. Doesn't bother me.
蒸気の熱を、
Okay.
スズメたちはことに好むのです。生きた機関庫のスズメたちは、炭で真っ黒に染まります。
おう。ならば、奴らの望み通りに、真っ黒スズメにしてやろう。
Excuse me? The steam whistle blows. It's pitch higher and prouder than ever before. At the same time, Nagi wakes up. She had fallen asleep 5 minutes into my lecture. What did I fucking tell you? I told her. I told you she would fall asleep.
もう走れると？
Naturally, that's the first question out of her mouth. Instead of answering, though, I hand her the one scoop.
ひとまずは20秒に1杯のペースで。頼みましたよ。美濃笠凪機関女子。
20秒に1杯、了解ばい。
I don't think she can count that high, I'm gonna be honest. Nagi jumps up and opens the gate. Heat in the color of red fills the cab.
オイル、走行部点検よし。トゲ線正常。ボイラ水位よし。
Hatoroku begins doing the call-out checks without warning. I respond to her exactly as I've been trained to.
空気圧縮機正常。ブレーキテスト。地弁よし。 短弁よし。
All sections check. Meter readings all green. After confirming the checks with Hachidoku, she turns to me for a brief moment before looking out the windshield.
バイパス弁、ドレンコック、開放。
Drain what? Listen, the only cock being drained is... Never mind.
バイパス弁、ドレンコック開く。よし。
自弁、短弁1、運転。
自弁、短弁、運転1。よし。
The automatic brake valve and independent brake valve are both released. Now to put it into gear, I put in the reversing gears, moving the steam into the cylinders to start up 8620.
逆転機、全身フルギア。
逆転機、全身フルギアよし。
Full gear.
出発。
My gaze turns from the side to the front. The departure signal is green. It's a go.
進行。
出発進行。
Together with her call out, the bypass valve and drain cock are closed. I then sound off the steam whistle to bring attention to it.
相鉄様、加減弁をゆっくりと、どこまでもどこまでもゆっくりと。
Okay, maybe I wasn't gonna look up any of those tips, but I know what a regulator is. Just what is it in this context?
蒸気機関車の動輪を回すピストン、シリンダーへと送り込む蒸気の量を加減する装置。それが加減弁でございます。
自動車でいうところのアクセルだ。加減弁テコを引き込めば送り込まれる蒸
Okay, I think I understand. The regulator manages the amount of steam that flows into the cylinder. Okay, I guess I didn't need to look up the tips. I want to be the piston EDC. What are you hiring for? You're the one who typed that out.
水、溜まります。
That flows into the cylinder, so I'll gradually pull the connected lever to open it. Steam that flows into the cold cylinder will turn into water. Thus, the drain cock has to be opened to let the water out.
What?
I hear a repeated puffing noise from the cylinder to the piston, and then to the drive wheel. The steam begins to channel its power.
逆転機を65に。
逆転機65。よし。
To receive maximum torque, the forward gear has its rate reduced from 80% to 65. By reducing it, loss of power is minimized, forcing the steam power into acceleration. Puff, puff, puff. Naturally, didn't Nagi notice the first turn of the driving wheel? That's how slowly 8620 has come out of its slumber.
加減弁、徐々に開いて、逆転機も合わせるように。
Puff, puff, puff. Sound of the blast will be how I measure the turning of the drive wheel. As instructed by Hachidoku, each time I pull the regulator's lever to reduce the reversing handle.
お人用温泉液入線。1番ホーム、停止準備を。
I suddenly become nervous, not realizing how quickly we've arrived, but my training takes over.
逆転機ミッドギア。加減弁。閉じ。
The reversing gear is neither forward nor reverse, but in mid-gear. What? Yeah. Which is like being in neutral. and with the regulator closed, the steam wheel that pushes the driving wheels cut off. 8620 is now running purely on inertia.
シリンダー圧よし。バイパス弁、ドレンコック開け。
バイパス弁、ドレンコック開け。よし。
まだですよ、相鉄様。まだ、もう少しです。
Trains do not stop easily. Hachiroku calms me, knowing that I have that image in my head.
機関車短期、テンダーも空。これほど軽く遅いのですから、すぐ止まります。
I can't respond. The stopping point's getting close. I get over-eager, and the words begin to swirl around in my head.
今です。自弁、乗用。
自弁、乗用。
The locomotive itself, along with the freight and passenger cars being pulled, all automatically brake in unison. I moved the handle steadily and set it to normal, slowly moving it to the point where brake pressure is applied.
よし。
相鉄様、ハンドル、もっと柔らかに握って大丈夫です。
I notice only after she mentions it, I'm white-knuckling it. If I loosen my grip, though, I start thinking about unnecessary things. When it's just the locomotive, there's not much difference between the automatic and independent brakes, it seems. But Hachiroku instructed me to use the automatic brake in the exact place that I want the entire train to stop because she's anticipating when we'll be drawing filled passenger cars.
自弁、運転。
自弁、運転。よし。
This is bad. I need to maintain my focus. Wait, no. With the brake positions in drive, that'd mean there's no brake pressure. There's no shock or force because we stopped. Not by the brakes, but by friction and the train's weight. Well done. That's all I can say. We're stopped precisely at the right spot. I turned toward Hachiroku to call out to her, but she comes to me and begins pointing at my hands.
単弁、カブレーキ。逆転機、ミッドギア。
Oh, that's right. This train won't be going to the next station. We'll stop here and be inspected. I lightly apply the brakes so that the train doesn't move on its own by external forces and the like. After returning the gear to neutral, I finally let go of the brake handle.
相鉄様、お疲れ様でした。
確かにそうばい。お疲ればい。
ああ。
The running time must be less than 5 minutes, and yet... Is this excitement? Or was I just scared? Well, either way, it's adrenaline. I'm drenched in sweat. However, I'm not even sure why I'm sweating so much. I don't know, maybe because it's hot as fuck. Right now, I have an amazing feeling of release, and a little bit of...
なんかホームがすごいばい。
I don't know if it was Paulette or Hibiki. No, most likely everyone gathered together to prepare it.
きれいばい。面白かばい。
I mean, they did have 5 hours, so... There's a huge board with ribbons and a bunch of hands holding it up with a big smile. On the board is colorful writing that says,
試験成功おめでとう。おかえりなさい8620。これ、お祝いのメッセージばい。
ああ。
相鉄様。
Hachiroku's eyes are teary. Although she may say it's steam exhaust, I envy Hachiroku a little in how she's able to cry.
これがお人よ。相鉄様が守ろうとしている町と人たちなのですね。
これがお人よ。僕を育ててくれた町だ。守ろうなどとはおこがましいが。
空からなんか降ってきたばい。
雪？違います。紙吹雪です。
Leaning over the cab window, Nagi looks up at the sky. But I already know why.
ナビのやつも僕らを祝福してくれているのだな。
Must be touched. Hachiroku buries her face in my arms and shakes. I stroke her hair, but as I do, something catches my eye from above. Osho, Kisaki, and Urakami. Hibiki hasn't noticed either. When did they start watching? They were not here to give their blessing, but only to observe. Their business-like attitude proves it.
Hmm?
I feel like she's looking at me. No, I'm sure of it. Osho Kisaki grins before mouthing words in an exaggerated way. Is that the best you can do? Is that what she's saying? Kisaki naturally doesn't state her response, and simply turns around to walk away with Urakami.
そうか。そうだな。
I mean, he has 2 years, right?
相鉄様。
All we can do is turn the drive wheel, though it may be a great feat on its own. Tourism promotion? We can't even carry a single tourist at the moment.
我に返って気づいただけだ。僕たちはまだ始発ホームを出てもいないとな。
そうですね。
She takes out a small handkerchief from her pocket and wipes her cheek.
まだまだ泣くにも早すぎましたね。
She didn't mention anything about steam exhaust this time. Hachiroku distinctly said cry. Whispers into my ear with a smile.
ファンサービスも機関士の大事なお仕事ですよ。相鉄様。
Listen, I think your definition of fan services is entirely different from mine.
そうか。ならば。
Especially since I watch anime. I sound off the steam whistle. This is my thanks to the people on the platform and to Ohitoyo. And at the same time, the signal is a new beginning. This signals a new beginning from here on out. What?
兄さん、背中流してあげようか。
Mind you, it's been like, what, 5 hours and we still haven't gotten a CG?
相鉄くん、まだ顔がお疲れな感じですから、もう少しゆっくり湯船に浸かった方がいいですよ。
I
feel like the choice is near. I do too. But, you know, when you say soon, it does not give me hope. To my right and to my left, Hibiki and Paulette sit very close as they continue to talk. I think I did well today, if I do say so myself. I'm sure they're trying to show their appreciation. I'm surprised Paulette is that comfortable with being around Sotetsu and the onsen. If that's the case, I wish they would let me enjoy the bath in peace and quiet. Oh.
ナギ、少しいいか。
いいばい。なんで兄さん。
It seems she and Fukami have finished washing each other's backs. Nagi responds to me and comes trotting over.
なぎちゃん、前隠して。
But she is hiding her front, Fukami. She has a towel on, right?
神ちゃん。隠すようなもん、うちにはぶら下がっとらんばい。
What's that meant to mean, Nagi?
確かに。
What Nagi says is correct.
ダメ。そこは大事なところだから、緑に見せないようにしないと。
I mean, you've got 4 characters here with routes. All of them having routes.
その通りだ。緑に見せるは緑だい。緑とか緑かようわからんけど、そこまでやーやー隠せ言うなら隠すばい。
Still, now Paulette and Hibiki join in with Fukami. Seeing the slits on the crotch mean nothing to someone with a little sister. Still, you say that to every fucking anime protagonist with a little sister, who is technically not their sister. If it's something that must be kept hidden, looking at it would be considered rude. I avert my eyes from Nagi only to see Hachiroku and Reina washing each other's backs, imitating Nagi and Fukami.
くすぐったいです。八億さん。ちょっと、そんなに暴れてはいけません。こら、どうして逃げるのですか？
Innocent and peaceful. This is nice. Reina's warmth seems to be able to melt away Hachiroku's stubbornness, at least somewhat.
ね、兄さん、うちに何の用途？
ああ、
I've been carried away by the celebratory mood from the success of the test run, and forgot to mention something.
8620の機関助手をこれからもナギに頼みたいのだ。
夏休みが終わった後も？そら無理ばい。うち、放課後は川下りのお仕事があるけんね。
あ、
I hadn't considered that. In all honesty, I'd completely forgotten about it. Yukami stares at me with worried eyes. She understands that Nagi's needed for the downstreaming. I have no intention of taking her away from that. I should just stop here.
すまん。ついついうっかりしていた。ナギの投炭があまりに早く上達するので、目がくらんでな。
まあ、それは仕方のなかことばい。
Her voice and expression are the embodiment of boasting. Nagi sticks out her flat chest.
川が増水で船出せんときとかは、もちろん手伝ってあげるばい。
それは助かる。本当に。
Right now, I'm a complete novice. An almost complete amateur engineer. In order to extend the test run distance and eventually become a commercial line, the help of an assistant's necessary. But there's a problem.
兄さん、機関助手って、兄さんがいつも練習している。
ああ、投炭だな。そう。あれをメインに機関車の走行を助ける仕事だ。
練習すればどうでしょう。あれは私にもできますか？
できるな。
That required no hesitation to say. Hibiki is well versed in academics and sports. Moreover, she always puts in the effort. How could I have missed this? Hibiki's also small in stature.
なら私、練習してみてできそうだったら、兄さんの機関助手になります。
そうか。それは助かる。
So, that'd be for 8620 instead of me, but there's no point in mentioning that now. What's most important is that this will be another step forward, the safe business operation of 8620.
ただ、条件付けとか、そういうのじゃ全然ないんだけど。
なんだ。希望があるなら遠慮したりせず言ってくれ。
手段と目的が 少し混ざっちゃってるみたいに今の兄さん見えるかもって。
うん。
Now that she mentions it, I might have that tendency, bro. The one time I look up, Hibiki and Paulette blink at the exact same time. The revival of the railway is a means of promoting tourism while also driving away the aircraft factory. However, thanks for the hydrate.
もっとお人よのことをよく知った方がいいと思うの。兄さんがお人よを本当に復興させたいんなら。
And the stretch.
具体的にはどうすればいい？
酒造のことも私の看板書きや何もかもお人よの人と密接するお仕事でしょ。だから
家事やお前の手伝いにもう少し目を向ければよりバランスが取れるかもしれぬというわけか。
Hibiki gives a relieved smile. She had wanted to say this, but couldn't. I realize now that Hibiki's finally her usual self. He's going to choose an idea between 3 characters soon. I'm like 80% sure. Okay. Look, all I'm going to say is you would never see the main guy in an onsen with 6 girls outside of a hentai. And I know this is an eroge, but this part is in the all ages version. So it technically isn't part of the quote-unquote eroge, okay?
私もそれだったら希望っていうか意見っていうか。
うん。言ってみてくれ。
Success of the test runs made everyone excited. I don't hold my alcohol well, but I know what being drunk feels like. There's the time when I hear opinions without interrupting. So right now, I'm just going to focus on listening.
基本線は響ちゃんと同じなんですけど、アプローチ別のやり方の方がもっといいかなって。
別のやり方？
例えばですけど、相鉄くんに制作秘書に入ってもらって、市政のレベルで観光振興に力を注いでほしいなって。
ほう。
Hibiki suggested a bottom-up method, while Paulette wants to go top-down. They have the same goal of tourism promotion and the revival of Ohitoyo, but their methods are diametrically opposite. Jesus.
今回の試験走行までで、お人よのキーマンが何人も、相鉄くんを信頼してくれたと思いますし、その人脈も。
うん。市政という長いテコを使えば、作用も大きい。ポーレットの言うこともまた、理解はできるな。
Paulette's cheeks puff up, forming a particularly pouty look. I feel as if this is the first time I've seen such an honest expression from her. Honest to the point of making my heart jump.
理解はですか？
うん。響の意見も同様に理解できるからな。
Okay, and what's Hachiroku's what's Hachiroku's opinion? Oh my god. As soon as I say her name, she shows up. A calm voice from Hibiki. I hear a watery splash coinciding with it.
確かに、お二方のご意見はともに一理も二理もあるものですね。
86。
Seems like she and Reina finally finished washing up. Hachiroku has an air of accomplishment on her face as she quietly enters the bath and sits on my lap.
けれど、地道なご縁作りは響の、姿勢はそれこそ、ポーレットさんの得意分野かと存じます。
確かにな。
To build upon a grassroots foundation and to use government policy as the tool. Those are Hibiki and Paulette's methods that they've nurtured all their life. Neither of them are things I can easily dive into.
餅は餅や、 記者は記者やです、相鉄様。相鉄様の機関士としての適性は明快に示されています。
Hatsuroku's words aren't a request. He's simply laying out the facts she believes in.
相鉄様でしたら、ほんの半年もあれば、清見機関士同様、機関助士なしでの機関車運用をこなせるようになります。
Hatsuroku makes her declaration before looking at me, then to Hibiki and Paulette in that order.
故に、相鉄様は今のレールを邁進くださればいいのです。相鉄様が道を開けば、必ず皆がその正しさに続きます。
極端な意見ではあるが、しかし、理もある。
Hatsuroku's talking about putting all of my focus into one thing and becoming the flagship that everyone can see. If that flag shows the right path, those who see it will surely follow suit. Hibiki, Paulette, Hachiroku. Even if I don't take their opinions verbatim, they're useful as a reference for future goals. Now then, whose opinion fits me best? If I can decide rather than wasting time, I should just pick one and act. If I don't work, I can always change course. If it doesn't work, I can always change course. AKA the side routes.
Yosh!
Flash. I make up my mind and exit the bath. For now. Finally. I cannot save. Oh wait, no I can. There you go. Well guys, I think I'm gonna end stream off for today. I'm kidding. It was called the N scale, wasn't it?